Hello, and welcome to today's episode. In this segment, we'll explore the heartbreaking story of Carla Walker, a 17-year-old Texas high school student who was abducted after a Valentine's dance in February 1974. Though her case went cold for decades, modern investigative techniques ultimately provided a resolution, offering hope for families in similar situations and a reminder that justice can prevail. This video discusses an abduction and homicide. Viewer discretion is advised. All individuals are presumed innocent unless proven guilty in a court of law. In this instance, the case resulted in a conviction. The details come from credible news outlets, law enforcement statements, and court documents. Carla Jan Walker was born in 1956 and lived in Fort Worth, Texas. She was raised in a loving family who cherished their close-knit community. Friends described Carla as bubbly, kind-hearted, and full of life. She was known for her friendly disposition and enthusiasm for school activities. By 1974, Carla was a junior at Western Hills High School. She was an active cheerleader, and her upbeat spirit made her popular among classmates. Carla also had a serious boyfriend, Rodney McCoy, who attended the same school. With graduation on the horizon, Carla had aspirations for college and hoped to build a future centered around helping others. Those who knew her said she radiated positivity and seemed destined for success. On February 16, 1974, Carla and Rodney went to a Valentine's dance at their high school. It was a festive evening, filled with music, dancing, and the excitement typical of teenagers celebrating special moments. After the dance, Carla and Rodney stopped by a local bowling alley in Fort Worth, a popular hangout spot for students. They spent some time in the parking lot, talking and enjoying the post-dance atmosphere. According to Rodney's account, a man appeared suddenly at the car. He assaulted Rodney with a handgun, knocking him unconscious momentarily. The attacker then forcibly took Carla from the vehicle. By the time Rodney came to, Carla was gone, and the assailant had vanished. Rodney, injured and in shock, immediately sought help, alerting the police and Carla's family. News of Carla's abduction spread rapidly. Friends, family, and local law enforcement collaborated in a frantic search, canvassing the area for any sign of her. Flyers were posted around town, and local media stations reported on the case, urging residents to come forward with information. Tragically, Carla's remains were discovered 3 days later, on February 20, 1974, near Benbrook Lake, not far from the Fort Worth area. She had been brutally assaulted and murdered. The community was devastated by the news, and Carla's family was left in profound grief. The Fort Worth Police Department launched an extensive homicide investigation. They collected evidence at the scene, interviewed potential witnesses, and scrutinized possible suspects. Despite these efforts, leads failed to produce a definitive suspect, and the case eventually went cold. For years, Carla's family and friends lived without closure. The memory of her bright spirit lingered, and the unanswered questions weighed heavily on the community. Law enforcement periodically revisited the case files, but without modern forensic methods, progress was limited. As DNA technology advanced in the late 20th and early 21st centuries, detectives saw new possibilities for solving long-standing cold cases. Carla's case file was preserved, along with physical evidence that might yield genetic clues. Carla's siblings, parents, and extended relatives continued to pressure investigators, never giving up hope. The Walker case became a symbol of perseverance, exemplifying how families of victims can keep a case alive in the public consciousness. In 2020, cold case investigators utilized advanced DNA testing, comparing genetic material from the crime scene to modern genealogical databases. This approach helped narrow down suspects, ultimately pointing to a man named Glen McCurley, who had been questioned briefly in 1974 but never charged. McCurley was arrested and charged with Carla Walker's kidnapping and murder. News of the arrest spread throughout the Fort Worth community, stirring both relief and renewed sorrow. Law enforcement cited new forensic evidence as a critical factor in building their case against McCurley. McCurley later pleaded guilty, or was found guilty, of Carla's murder. The details of his admission and trial revealed that he had long been on the periphery of the investigation, but lack of evidence in 1974 prevented an earlier arrest. The conviction provided a measure of closure for Carla's family after nearly 5 decades of uncertainty. Carla's case resonates in Fort Worth as a reminder that justice, though sometimes delayed, can still be delivered. The Walker family, while grieving the loss of a loved one, expressed gratitude to law enforcement and supporters who never gave up on Carla's memory. The resolution of Carla's case is part of a broader pattern where technological breakthroughs in DNA analysis crack decades-old mysteries. Her story highlights the importance of preserving evidence and continuing to reinvestigate unsolved murders. Those who knew Carla remember her as a joyful teenager who loved her family, her friends, and her cheerleading squad. The final chapter of her story, while tragic, underscores how vital it is for communities to stand by victims' families and help keep hope alive. The story of Carla Walker is one of enduring heartbreak, but also unwavering determination. Though the answers took decades to surface, they eventually emerged thanks to persistent investigators, advancements in forensic science, and a family that refused to give up. If there's one lesson to draw from Carla's story, it's the importance of keeping faith in cold case investigations. Even after many years, new technology and tenacious detectives can uncover the truth. By sharing Carla's story, we honor her life and provide hope to other families still awaiting answers. Thank you for watching and learning about Carla Walker's life and case. If you found this video informative, please like, share, and subscribe for more content on unsolved mysteries, cold cases, and true crime stories. Your support keeps these stories in the spotlight and helps ensure that victims like Carla Walker are never forgotten.